My name is Emily. I live in Paris, and I love cheese. Forget the stereotypes. Paris today is a vibrant, diverse, and modern city, and it's been my home for over a decade. Come with me. Let's break the cliches of French cheese.
Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my absolute favorite French sandwiches. It's called the Croque Monsieur, and it's super cheesy. And best of all, you can find them pretty much anywhere you go in Paris. Let's go track one down. Je vais vous prendre un Croque Monsieur, s'il vous plaît. Jambon, s'il vous plaît. Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée, au revoir. A good Croque Monsieur should be a simple combo of good ham, good cheese, and good bread. But this is not very good. See how it's just kind of coming apart? The bread is soggy. The ham is definitely supermarket ham product. I will taste it though. I'm not just gonna be about this. Okay, so here's the thing. It has mustard in it, which is really nice, and it does have cheese. And there's really not a lot bad that you can say about melted cheese in general. However, this is really, really soggy bread, like it's basically falling apart in my hand when I try and hold it. And there's no cheese pull. Where's my cheese pull? They've hidden the fact that most of this is not very good, and they've just slathered on mustard. And you really can't fuck up mustard. So mostly what you're tasting is just mustard. I like mustard, but I wanted to taste something other than mustard. I mean, I'll eat it anyway, it's melted cheese. Sad Croque Monsieur. Pigeon, do you want to share my Croque Monsieur with me? Come here. What do you think? Do pigeons like it? Unlike other French nope. And here we go. Excellent. Unlike other French staples from beef bourguignon, nope, that won't work. It's too fast. Okay. Unlike other French culinary staples from fondue to beef bourguignon to escargot, the Croque Monsieur was actually invented here in Paris. The first croque appeared no, you're right, it's very hard. The very first croque appeared on the menu of Le Bel Age Café in 1910. It was the perfect, quick and easy option to serve alongside drinks in a place that didn't even have a full kitchen. Its slightly odd name, which basically translates to a crunchy mister, allegedly came from owner Michel Lunarca's rep as a cannibal. When customers would ask him why his sandwiches were so good, he said they featured Mr. Meat. It's ham. Now I got lost. The Croque Monsieur quickly fell out of vogue as Parisians developed a taste for fancier fare. Today, most corner cafe croques are a sorry combo of congealed cheese, mealy bechamel, soggy bread, and a barely warm interior. Surprised? 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 You shouldn't be. Unfortunately, industrial food is pretty widespread in France these days. Despite the 2010 protection of French cuisine by the UNESCO, today somewhere between 1/3 and 3/4 of Paris's restaurants are serving at least some industrially prepared food. It's such a widespread phenomenon that in 2014, the French government actually created a logo that you could use to show what should be obvious, that your food was actually being made in-house. And that should be obvious, obvious, obvious. You know what? I think I'm gonna have to do this myself. To make a really good Croque Monsieur, nope. So, to make a really, really good Croque Monsieur, we obviously have to start with really, really good cheese. And in France, there's over 1,000 to choose from. So I've decided to make my very own Croque Monsieur, and to do that, I've come here to find some amazing cheese. Donc, Dominique, qu'est-ce qu'on utilise d'habitude comme fromage dans un Croque Monsieur?
Alors, dans un Croque Monsieur, c'est l'emmental de Savoie, qu'on appelle aussi gruyère.
Oui.
Donc, c'est ce fromage-là, vraiment.
Parce que nous, aux États-Unis, je ne sais pas si vous le savez, les fromages à trous comme ça, on les appelle Swiss cheese. Pour nous, c'est les Swiss cheese, les fromages suisses. Donc là, on est quand même dans la même région un petit peu.
Oui. Mais c'est très français.
Et vous, dans votre Croque Monsieur, vous mettez de l'emmental?
Non.
Non. Vous mettez quoi?
Je mets du comté.
Du comté, d'accord.
Ouais.
Et qu'est-ce qu'il y a de différent?
C'est plus goûteux.
D'accord.
C'est moins élastique.
D'accord.
Et il y a plus de saveur, il y a plus de gras.
D'accord.
Également.
Parfait, c'est ça qu'on veut.
Oui.
Et je sais que le comté, ça se vend à 6 mois, à 12 mois d'affinage.
À 18 mois, 40 mois.
Qu'est-ce qu'il faut qu'on prenne pour un croque-monsieur?
Il faut prendre un 15-18 mois.
D'accord.
Voilà.
Pas trop affiné non plus.
Pas trop affiné. Les cristaux, ça va être désagréable et ça va saler le croque-monsieur. Alors que en 15-18 mois, c'est parfait.
Et vous avez ça aujourd'hui?
Oui.
Parfait.
Chouette, hein? Voilà, coupage à l'ancienne.
Next step, ham. And not just any ham, jambon de Paris or Paris ham, which was invented here in the capital in the 17th century. There's only one guy still making this ham in the city today, and that's the self-titled Prince of Paris. He's letting us come into his lab to see exactly how this artisanal ham is made. Let's go.
La particularité, c'est que nous, un jambon qui rentre, enfin une cuisse qui rentre, c'est un jambon qui sort. Donc ça veut dire qu'on fait un désossage à l'os coulé. On ne fait pas d'assemblage de viande et donc on va tourner autour de l'os pour aller sortir l'os, ce qui va permettre vraiment de ne pas ouvrir le jambon, de le laisser complètement intact. On fait ce qu'on appelle le parage, comme est en train de faire Camara, c'est-à-dire tout le nettoyage à l'intérieur de la viande. Parce qu'il y a des parties grasses sur un jambon qui ne sont pas comestibles. On nettoie tout ça. Alors il y a beaucoup de pertes, hein, parce qu'un jambon, il rentre, en moyenne, il fait 12 kg. Et quand il a été cuit, à la sortie, il y a en moyenne entre 7,5 kg et 8 kg. Combien de temps tu as mis pour apprendre vraiment à savoir désosser? Tu as appris toi-même? Et au bout d'un an, tu savais à peu près? Ouais, c'est ça, un an. Alors là, on est en train de saler le jambon par l'artère. Donc c'est-à-dire que qu'est-ce qu'on fait? On va aller chercher la veine fémorale et on va aller rentrer l'aiguille dans la veine pour aller pousser le sang et remplacer le sang par la saumure. La saumure, donc, c'est la décoction de légumes avec les épices et le salage. Donc vous voyez, il faut aller chercher jambon par jambon, il faut aller chercher l'artère de manière à pouvoir faire le salage. Alors c'est un travail chirurgical, hein. C'est ce qui prend du temps, voilà. Toute cette manipulation, c'est vrai que c'est ça qui fait la différence sur la qualité finale. C'est très important.
So it's salty, but not too salty. You really still taste the flavor of the pork, because at the end of the day, ham is pork first and foremost, and then all of the salt and flavors come in kind of afterwards, and you have really amazing chew and texture, and it's really thick cut, so it's really, really nice and just meaty. I think it's gonna be really good in our Croque Monsieur. Got our cheese, got our ham, just need to grab our bread, and we are ready to cook. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Je vais vous prendre un demi-Saint-Martin, s'il vous plaît.
Ah, j'en ai déjà coupé.
Parfait, c'est parfait.
Avec ceci, vous avez autre chose?
Ce sera tout, merci.
Alors, c'est bon.
Merci beaucoup, bonne journée, au revoir. So we have run all over Paris to try and get the very best ingredients for our Croque Monsieur, and now all we have to do is build it. Now, when it comes to Croque Monsieur, this is really like a home comfort food dish. There's not a lot of ways to screw this up. There's really only two debates that you've got in the school of Croque Monsieurs. The first is, what kind of bread are you going to use? Are you going to use sandwich bread, or are you going to use country bread, like I've gotten from my favorite boulangerie, Saint, where they use heirloom grains, and it's kind of got a lot more flavor and a lot more density, so that's going to add even more flavor to our Croque Monsieur. So I've landed in the country bread camp today. And the other sort of debate is going to be, are you going to top, because unlike a grilled cheese, you're going to top your Croque Monsieur with something so that when you put it in the oven, it's going to get nice and golden brown. So some people are going to top it with a bechamel sauce. And even our camerawoman and co-producer Carole at home is going to make a bechamel sauce to go on top of the Croque Monsieur. So that's sort of the traditional way of doing it. But if you ask a lot of modern French chefs how they're going to do it, they're actually going to opt for something a little bit simpler, which is just creme fraiche. Now you know what this means, obviously. We have to do both. I'm a perfectionist. I can't just leave well enough alone. So we're going to try both. So to do that, because the sandwich assembly part is so easy, we're actually gonna start by making our bechamel. Now, what is a bechamel? It's super simple. 3 ingredients. You make a roux, so that's a combination of butter and flour, and that's gonna be the thickener. And then you add some really good milk. Now we're gonna jazz ours up a little bit with nutmeg and mustard, and that's going to make a really nice topping for our sandwich. So let's get started. I'm gonna butter this because then it's gonna get kind of crispy in the oven, which will be even nicer. And I'm gonna butter it on both sides, because it's Friday. Okay, so both my sandwiches are gonna get a first dose of cheese. So my bechamel already has a little bit of mustard in it. So for the cream one, I'm gonna put some mustard down first and then top it with cream. And then of course, everybody needs some more cheese. All right, we'll just throw these in the oven. And then wait to see what happens. So happy. I'm not gonna lie, they both look pretty freaking amazing. So I don't think that we failed on either count, but for the sake of science, I'm gonna try them both. All right, so we'll start with Mr. Bechamel. Okay, so it's nothing like what we had this morning. The bread is super crunchy. Remember this morning it was all kind of falling apart and wet and damp. This bread is still crispy. The cheese is crispy. And you still get like all of those different textures. So we still have the meatiness from that amazing ham that we found. That cheese that Dominique recommended for us is perfect because it's got this sort of nuttiness that you can get all through the nutmeg as well in the bechamel. So all the flavors go together and nothing is getting more attention than anything else. So it just goes really well together. I mean, it's hard to beat this, but I think we have to give the cream version a chance. Okay, so the difference with this that's really interesting is that because there's no bechamel and the cream doesn't really have a lot of its own flavor, it's mostly the cheese that shines here. I mean, obviously you have the ham too, but you don't have that extra little sweetness, spiciness from the nutmeg. So it almost feels a little bit lighter, which is bizarre because this is cream and this is milk. All right, let me see if I can get a cheese pull here. How far will it go? I was convinced that Mr. Bechamel was gonna win because this is the classic and this is the way that everybody has always done it. But I gotta say, I gotta lend it to the cream version because at the end of the day, when you have the cream version, all of those other flavors, the really good ham, the really good cheese, the really good bread, they're the ones who get to talk and you don't have anything else that's getting in their way. So, I don't know, maybe my way of making a croque monsieur has been revolutionized. Now, I think I've done a pretty good job of making a much better croque than you can find on any street corner in Paris. That said, there are a lot of great places in Paris that you can get a really good croque monsieur. You just have to know where to look. Here are a couple of places that I really love where you can get a really good croque monsieur. That said, there is one more place I want to take you. They're doing something that's a little bit different than any croque monsieur you'll see elsewhere in Paris, but I think it's pretty freaking cool. So let's go. Merci de nous avoir accueillis ici. D'où vient cette idée du croque international?
Alors l'idée du croque international, ça part d'un constat en fait. Et le constat, c'était le suivant, c'est qu'en France, on mange beaucoup de burgers. C'est un marché qui arrive à saturation. Et aujourd'hui, les concepts, pour se différencier, ils francisent le burger. Ils le font à la mode française. Ils prennent des produits très locaux. Et surtout, ils essayent de le rendre appétissant pour des Français. Donc, on est sur une augmentation de la qualité. Et nous, on s'est dit, des produits français, on en a. On n'y a pas touché depuis très longtemps. Et l'idée, c'était de prendre le contre-pied en fait, de cette tendance, de cette mouvance, et de prendre un produit français et de l'internationaliser. Donc c'est comme ça qu'en fait, on se retrouve avec un croque-monsieur asiatique, un croque-monsieur italien, un croque-monsieur scandinave, et actuellement à la carte, on en a 7. Notre carte, elle est pour moitié internationale et pour l'autre moitié classique.
Le croque monsieur ici, c'est envisagé comme un street food ou c'est quelque chose qu'on mange à table?
En France, c'est vrai qu'on n'a pas l'habitude de manger en marchant, mais on a surtout aussi l'habitude de manger au travail, de plus en plus. Et c'est important d'avoir un produit pratique en fait à la consommation, et lorsqu'on le mange, qu'il n'y ait pas la tomate qui sorte la tête ou la sauce qui dégouline. Et donc c'est vraiment important d'avoir ce produit facile à consommer, et c'est d'ailleurs pour cette raison qu'on a choisi le croque-monsieur avec tout à l'intérieur et rien au-dessus. Parce que si vous allez en brasserie, vous allez retrouver des croque-monsieur avec la béchamel souvent au-dessus, à l'intérieur, ce qui fait qu'en fait c'est très lourd en plus à manger. Et nous, on met vraiment tout à l'intérieur, ce qui fait que le pain est visible de l'extérieur et on peut prendre le pain à la main et le manger donc facilement.
We are here at the Canal Saint-Martin with our croque monsieurs to go. This is the Shaolin, which is the Thai-influenced croque monsieur. It's got shrimp, it's got lemongrass, it's got soy sauce, so it was almost too weird not to try it. French people generally don't love spicy food. The highest spice that you often get in any French family or French restaurant comes from mustard. So that chili heat that you get like in Mexican cuisine or Thai cuisine is kind of nowhere. So I'm interested to see what this is going to be like if there's going to be that heat. It's really good. I'm surprised that the combination of like Thai curry and cheese works, but somehow it does. I was right, that's not spicy in any way, but it is super aromatic and there's a lot of different flavors. There's, this meatiness of the shiitake mushrooms and the shrimp. I can't think of anything that would be more emblematic of this combination between international food and French food. I mean, that's pretty much it. More cheese, more cheese. So this is the Mademoiselle, which Combe was telling me is their best seller. It's basically their play on a croque madame, which is a croque monsieur with an egg on top. Oh my God. So with the croque mademoiselle, we have the jambon torchon, so the ham cooked in a cloth. And then we have the classic Emmental. We have a soft-boiled egg, and all of it is on this 5-grain bread with a Mornay sauce, so a bechamel with even more cheese in it. It's really good. You got like a little bit of like a nuttiness from the cheese itself, so you can tell it's really good quality cheese. Combe was telling me they use raw milk cheese here, which means that you get even more flavor. It's kind of like if you imagine Swiss cheese on steroids. That is nothing like that croque that I ate at a street stand. This is real street food, but street food à la française. It's got high quality ingredients. It's super simple, super delicious. And you can eat this anywhere in Paris, so that makes it even better.